What's up, investors? This is the Russian Dude and this is your daily update on Russian-Ukrainian war as of Monday, April 4th. Today we're going to talk about the killings of civilians in the city of Bucha, Ukraine, and the response of Russian side to these accusations, as well as the urge of Boris Filatov, the mayor of Dnipro, to kill as many Russians as possible in revenge everywhere around the world. Unprecedented and completely unacceptable event happened this weekend in Bucha, Ukraine. Basically what happened that there were hundreds of Ukrainian civilians with their hands tied behind their backs that were killed laying on the road. For this reason, obviously I cannot show you any pictures or videos about this event, but I'm sure some of you have seen the photos. Besides Ukrainian men who were killed in Bucha, there were also reported dead bodies of women and even children. And the outrageous response of Russia was that all these videos and pictures were fake. The representatives of Russia, including the highest government officials such as Dmitry Peskov and Sergei Lavrov, said that all these videos were made just to discriminate Russian army. They said that after carefully analyzing these videos, they saw that supposedly dead bodies were moving, standing up and leaving the place. I mean, there is killings and bombings from every country in every single war, but what happened in Bucha was completely unacceptable. And me myself, who is a person who has Russian friends, started seeing some of my friends changing their position about the war. Some of my friends who remained neutral during this conflict or were even supporting the actions of Russia finally started condemning the actions of Russian government. And even though, without a doubt, this was the most tragic event in the modern history of Ukraine, this probably means this could be a turning point for Russia. And here, for example, is what you can see if you type Bucha in Google search and open the pictures. And at the same time, this is what happens if you type Bucha in Russian equivalent of Google called Yandex. And these are the pictures you will see there. The residents of Kharkiv, Ukraine, still live in subway stations as their main bomb shelter. This weekend, the very first wedding took place in Kharkiv subway stations. Last week, allegedly Ukrainian helicopters attacked the oil depot in the city of Belgrade, which is in Russia. There have been many controversies whether this was actually Ukrainian helicopters or whether they were just Russian helicopters pretending to be Ukrainians. And so, in his most recent interview with the Fox News, the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, declined to talk about who was the one attacked these oil depots. He says that as a leader of Ukrainian army, he has no right to discuss military orders. This weekend, the oil bases in Odessa, Ukraine were also attacked. I mean, this might just look like one of these attacks that is happening in Ukraine basically every single day, but this one is different. And the reason why it is different because Odessa is located in the south of Ukraine, where allegedly there was no military actions yet. So based on this, we might expect that Russia has just opened a new front of its attack, which is south of Ukraine. In this map, you can see the change of the military operation in Ukraine from April 1st all the way until April 3rd. And as you can see, pretty big territories were taken back by the Ukrainian army. Boris Filatov, who is the mayor of Dnipro, Ukraine, urged to kill as many Russians as possible everywhere around the world. And based on this message he left right here, he was not targeting just Russian soldiers. What he really meant is to kill actually every Russian in revenge for what happened in Bucha, Ukraine. In this video you can see the Ukrainian protesters in the city of Enerhodar being attacked by Russian soldiers. And in this video you can see the soldier of Ukrainian army shooting while cat is peacefully sleeping on his legs. Yaroslav Kaczynski, who is the deputy prime minister of Poland, mentioned that his country is ready to accept American nuclear weapons on the territory of Poland. In this video you can see the Russian soldier allegedly clearing the field from the mines, with only one big problem is that the person who films this goes in front of the soldier. This is the condition of one of the biggest highways in Ukraine, which connects major cities. The president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, has visited the bridge that connects the cities of Irpin and Kiev. And these are the actions that every single real president should do, not just sit out in bunker, give out commands, but to be in the field with the people who elected him. One of the most important outcomes of Russian-Ukrainian talks that happened last week in Turkey was that Ukraine becomes a neutral country, which basically means that Ukraine will not allow Western countries to put military bases on its territory and will not join any alliances, such as NATO. But in return, Ukraine was asking for some safety guarantees. And so today, the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, signed an order about creating the delegation which will be responsible for talks with Russia about such safety guarantees, which makes it just one step closer towards hopefully peaceful resolution of the conflict. Since many international companies, including Facebook and Instagram, have left Russian market, Russian users started using VPN to access some websites. In the very beginning, the use of VPN in Russia was kinda problematic because it meant that you are using the services of companies that are against Russia. But in his most recent interview, the press secretary of Russia, basically the right hand of Putin, said that he is using VPN himself. I don't know if it was just a slip or whatever else it was, but that's the fact. Finland, who is not a part of NATO, will consider joining the alliance this spring. The representatives in Latvia reported that Russian gas deliveries have been stopped in pre-Baltic countries. And these countries include Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia. And the reason why the gas deliveries stopped, it is because these countries refused to pay for this in Russian rubles. Belarus agreed to Russian terms to pay for Russian gas and oil in rubles for the remainder of 2022. The General Secretary of the US, Antony Blinken, mentioned that the sanctions can be removed from Russia depending on the outcomes of Russian-Ukrainian talks. In his response, he mentioned that sanctions against Russia were not supposed to be indefinite. The only reason for sanctions is to change the behavior of Russia on international scene. The deputy mayor of the city of Izum, Ukraine, mentioned that around 80% of buildings inside city are completely destroyed. During 64 Grammy Award, there was a 1-minute speech by the president of Ukraine, Zelensky. He was asking international countries to support Ukraine by any means possible. Just don't be silent, he said. Ukrainian marauders who steal from their own countrymen in this difficult time are still being caught, detained and humiliated in Ukraine. Russian currency ruble has been strengthening against US dollar for the last couple of weeks. And just as a reminder, at the very peak there was approximately 140 rubles for $1, and this very moment it is approximately 83 rubles. These are the pictures of the theater in Mariupol, Ukraine. And this pie chart shows which European countries were mainly selling weapons to Russia. And as you can see, two biggest countries are France and Germany. In this picture you can see the list of countries which Russia considers unfriendly. The bus station in Kharkiv, Ukraine was under attack yesterday. I don't know about you, but this does not look like a military object. A law has been proposed and soon to be accepted in Russia, which makes it a criminal offense for companies to follow international sanctions. And by the way, if you like this style of daily news reporting, you are more than welcome to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, feel free to share this video with your friends or anywhere else you want. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe and see you tomorrow.